Hello and welcome to Let's Go RV. My name is John, and in this video we're going to show you how to winterize your RV. If you live in a climate like ours, something that gets below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, below freezing, you need to winterize your RV so that your water pipes don't freeze and end up splitting and you have to replace a lot of valves or water pipes. Winterizing your RV is pretty simple. I'll show you each one of the supplies that is necessary in order to do it yourself. You don't have to schedule a time with a dealer to winterize it for you. You don't have to waste the time going there and coming back and paying for it and all of that. So it's a pretty simple process you'll see as we go about doing this today. Each RV is just a little bit different in how to winterize, but the basic concepts are the same for all. In preparing for winterizing today, I went to the dump station, dumped it really quickly to make sure that all of my black was clear, and I ran my black flush as well to totally clean out the black tank, and I drained my gray tank completely as well. This makes sure that everything is empty and I'm able to get some antifreeze down into the holding tanks also, so that those valves and also the drain plugs don't freeze. I still have just a little bit of water in my freshwater holding tank, and I also have water in my lines. Some people will blow out their water lines first with air. I have done that before and found that I don't really need to if I'm running antifreeze through it. If I run enough antifreeze down through my P-traps and also down into the holding tanks, it'll keep any water that was in the lines free from freezing because of the antifreeze that's mixed in with it. For winterizing my RV, I have 2 full bathrooms plus a kitchen sink, so mine takes more than most. Most people will only have 1 bathroom and 1 kitchen sink. We also have an outdoor shower too that we'll have to run it through. So I'm going to probably need 6 gallons. I've got 4 and a little here, and I've got some more in my back garage that I'll get. I bought this in bulk just off of Amazon and had it sent to me. It was really easy. And this stuff is rated to go to negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and we don't ever get that cold around here. So this stuff is great. And again, I was able to just buy several gallons on Amazon, and I have plenty of it this time. I have run out before and had to go to the store quickly to buy it to finish my job. For today, I have plenty. Again, each RV is a little bit different. I have an access panel here where I can see my freshwater tanks and things, but because of bad lighting and things, I'm going to go ahead and take off this access panel quickly. Normally I wouldn't have to do this. I can just unscrew my 2 access holes and be able to do everything from there, but I'll go ahead and take this black panel off, and so you can see everything inside easily. Now with the access panel off, you can easily see in here. There were only 4 screws to take that off, so it's pretty simple. I have 2 pumps. Pump 1, pump 2, this is my rear, and this is my front pump. I have 2 sets of low point drains. This is one, and this is the other one. And then I have 2 sets of hoses. Normally, if I have the access panel on there and I just have the 2 holes, I unscrew the one and the other, and I can grab these hoses through those access panel holes and bring them down, and that's how I put the antifreeze through all of the lines, because you want the antifreeze to come up into each of the pumps and through each of the lines. If you miss your pumps, you're not going to be able to have any pumps for the spring season because they will be frozen. You'll have to replace them. In here, this is important to see. I have a red pipe that's coming from the bottom of my freshwater tank. That's going to need to be drained, so underneath I'll show you how to just unscrew that. The blue is actually holding water in the system, so I will drain it first and then I'll plug that back off. Same with these 2. These are both low point drains. They're both coming from my hot and cold, and I will open both of those up to drain all the water out. Then I'll plug those up again to be able to keep the antifreeze in the whole system in each of the lines. And then I will run antifreeze through each toilet, sink, outside shower, all the fixtures. All the fixtures will have antifreeze run through them. Underneath the rig, I've got my red here that's coming from my freshwater, and this is the blue that's holding all the water in the lines. And just down from that are the other two red and blues for the cold and hot water that is also holding water in the lines. So I will remove each of those 4 caps and let all water come out. Most of the time these are just finger tightened. Once in a while you'll have to use some channel locks on them to be able to get them to come loose. As you get them loose, you'll want to keep clear, otherwise you'll get water dripping all down your arm and on your face. So you just kind of keep out of the way, reach your arm up in there once you got it loose, and then just pop it loose quickly. I was able to just finger loosen most of those, 3 of those. One of them I had to use some channel locks on. You'll notice I've got some drips. It started to come out and I just tightened it back on a little bit. So now really quickly I'm gonna move my ground cloth that I'm sitting on, and I'm going to hop up in there really fast with my arm and get stuff draining. I was able to just loosen all of those and take off each of the 4 caps. I got a little bit of water that came out, not a lot yet, but I got quite a bit down my arm. So just plan on getting a little bit wet when you do that. We're now gonna go to the anodes on the water heater. Your water heater will have your access panel on the outside. You just twist the little lever sideways and it'll lift off of 2 posts. Set that aside carefully so you don't scratch paint or your stickers, your decals on them. Down here at the bottom is where your anode is, right here. It takes either a 22 millimeter or an 1/16 socket to fit on that, and you generally have to do some extensions on it because you've got quite a bit of distance to clear to get to the outside here. This is my second time winterizing this particular RV, and last time, which was the first time, as I was getting this one loose, it completely blew out at me and blew water all over me. And fortunately I didn't get hit by the anode as it came out, but I've never had that happen before. But this time I'm going to steer a little bit clear of it because I don't know what it's going to do this time. I'm using a 27 millimeter. I think I had said 22 millimeter, but it's 27 millimeter or 1/16. So I've got the extension on here also. We're going to hook it onto the anode and loosen it up. And again, I'm going to stay out of the way of this thing in case it blows out. So we got it loose. Oh, good. Fortunately, it didn't get me this time with the water. It didn't blow out. So we just let all that come out. And I don't know if you noticed when I took that out, but it's really skinny right up by it. So this anode needs to be replaced. And I already have 2 brand new ones that I purchased just for when I needed to replace them. So I'll go ahead and put the new ones inside this compartment. So next spring when I go to put them on again, they're right there. Now I'm going to do the second one while the first one's draining. We'll go ahead and get this one loose as well. So I've got that loose, and then I'll hand do it. And that anode needs to be replaced as well. We'll let those go ahead and drain out. While the hot water tanks are still draining, I'm going to go ahead and cap the cold water low point on this side. And I will tighten that to finger tight, and that should be tight enough. This is the front set of low points. So I'll put it in the cold there as well, because again, that's the one that's holding all the water in the system. Finger tighten that. I'll leave the freshwater holding tank open for the winter. On this particular unit, there's the access panel right next to the water heaters, each of them. And so I've got the access hole. Inside here I have 3 valves that I need to do for the bypass. There's that one on the bottom right, that one in the middle, and then there's one tucked up right behind here that's a little bit hard to see through here. You can barely see it right there. I'm going to turn each of those a 90-degree angle so that we bypass the hot water. I've now turned each of those a 90-degree so that they're all bypassing the hot water heater. I'll do the exact same thing on the other access panel for the other water heater too. All right, now we're ready to run antifreeze through our cold water system. I'm coming back to this access panel here. I'm going to take off the cap. And I could go directly with this hose down in the antifreeze bottle. I found that this works a little better, just taking a 16-inch riser, a sprinkler riser, and I'll put that in there. Tighten that on, and I'm in the front pump right now. I'm just gonna put it in the antifreeze bottle that I didn't use all of it last time, and it fits in there really nicely. I've got all of these other ones ready to go that I can just be all set to go from this bottle to the next bottle. If you have two people, this process is a little bit easier. I'm gonna be running from here out or back into the RV, turning on each fixture, then having to come back and replace the bottles. But if somebody's kind of manning the station here, they can, as soon as this bottle is getting empty, they hurry and take it out, stick it in the next bottle, and next bottle, and next bottle, so that it runs constantly through the whole thing. But I'll have to just keep coming in and out. In here, one important thing is we're coming from this hose. Pump one comes all the way up here, and it comes in to the line right here. You can barely see this, but this little valve needs to be turned, and now it's going to be running through this secondary pipe instead of coming through the freshwater holding tank. So we just turn that, and then I leave that valve turned. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one as well to the back pump, just so I don't forget. And now I'll leave them that way through the winter, or at least while I winterize it, because we may use it again in December, so I'll have to de-winterize it and then winterize it again in December if we take a trip to get to some warm weather. But this now will pull it directly from these bottles. You'll notice we've got these bottles ready. I'm gonna have Kim outside here, and she's gonna be taking this pipe from one bottle to the next, while I'm inside showing how the rest is done. And outside here, these valves will leave just like that, because in the springtime or in the December when we de-winterize it, we're going to go ahead and run fresh water this exact same way. I'm going to have a freshwater bottle, and it's going to come right through the pumps as well to flush everything out. I'm in the RV. I'm going to go ahead and open our touchscreen here. This is how we turn our pump on and off. Front water pump is where we're going to be taken from. I'm going to turn the water pump on, and we're going to go to our kitchen sink, turn on the cold water, and I'm going to try to make as little mess as I can here. So I'm going to hold my sprayer so that it's as close to the drain as I can, just so that I don't splash antifreeze everywhere. At the end, I'll take a paper towel or a cloth and just wipe out the sink so that I don't have antifreeze all over it. So I'm going to turn on the cold, and I'm going to run it until pink starts coming through, and that way I know I've got antifreeze in there. And it's starting to run pink right there. Might be a little bit hard to see on the picture, but I believe you can see that color. So now that we've got pink coming through, I'm going to let just a little more come through it so that it fills up in the P-traps and into the holding tank underneath. And that's good there. Now I'm in the main bath. I'm going to turn on the cold water here. And air gets in the lines quite often too, so that's not a big deal. And I'm already running pink. I'm going to run a little bit more just to run it down in the P-trap and into the holding tank. I'm going to just open the hot water as well to make sure I've got pink in that one. Where we bypassed the hot water tank, nothing is going in that. The toilet, I'm going to go ahead and flush it. You can see pink's already going down there. Again, I want to do just a little bit extra so that I've got some down in the holding tank so that none of those valves freeze either. And I just leave the antifreeze sitting in the bottom. It actually helps lubricate the rubber in there so that it doesn't crack over time as fast. We go to our shower. I'm going to take the shower head off and kind of hold it as close to the drain as I can. It won't go too close. And I'm going to turn on the hot. Make sure pink comes through. There, we got pink in the hot line. And now for the cold. And there I got pink coming again. I'll run just a little bit extra for the P-trap. And the shower is good. And then I'll just set the shower nozzle back in there. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to the back pump. So I'll take the cap off. And I'll unscrew this. We might get a little antifreeze leaking out. And I'm going to put the cap back on the front pump. And then we'll go ahead and screw on the back pump hose. And we'll give it another shot. So now I'm going to go in the rear pump and turn that one on. And now I'm getting water through the back pump as well. Now we've got the pump working. Again, I'll put just a little bit extra in there just for the black holding tank so that it doesn't freeze valves. Toilet's good. We'll come to the shower. We'll do the same thing in here. Hold the nozzle down a little bit so it's out of the way. I'm just going to let it hang right there. It should be good. We'll turn on the hot. The hot's showing good pink. We'll go for the cold. Got a little air in the line. There we go. And the cold is being a little bit finicky. Here we go. There. Now we've got all of the antifreeze through those. The last one is the outside shower. I'm now at the outside shower. You'll notice I've got pink in my filter as well. That's a good sign. That means it's running all the way through the system. I'm going to go ahead and just let this hang on the ground. I'll turn on the hot. It's a little harder to see if it's pink, but we are running pink there. Then we'll turn on the cold. You can see the foamy antifreeze in there too, so we know we're good on the cold. And now it's running a steady stream. And we'll turn off the cold. We'll do the hot one more time, just a second, make sure it's good. Because it was looking a little, okay, we're good there. And now we've got it through every fixture. Now that all the antifreeze is run through all of the fixtures, I'm going to come back and I'm going to disconnect the little sprinkler riser. I'll put the cap back on that. And then I'll tuck these back up in here. And I'll put the access panel back on. When I finish, I put the panel back on, but normally I would not take that panel off. I'm going to keep my one cap right there so that when I go to de-winterize, I know exactly where it is. My anode rods, again, I bought these on Amazon, so they're just a 9.5-inch magnesium anode, and it's a 2-pack. I normally will put my anodes in there so that, again, when I come back in the spring or December, when I de-winterize it, I'm ready to go. I know exactly where each part is. Then I'll put the access panel back on over the 2 posts, pull that out and put it sideways, and it's on for the next time. Part of my winterization includes taking my freshwater hoses out, my filter, anything that may have water still in it. I will take those out and put it in my back garage. I'll also take the sewer hoses that I use and put those in the back garage too, because sometimes they'll have some extra water in them and I don't want that to freeze and put a little hole somewhere so I have any leaks. So it just keeps them protected inside. I want to make sure that each sink has water in the P-trap, so I'll pour just a little down the left side of the kitchen sink as well, because I forgot to do that with the sprayer. That should do that. You'll notice here, we had, our first bottle was about 2/3 full, and we'll just pour this one into here. So it looks like we used close to 5 gallons, but that's for 2 full baths. 3 gallons should be plenty for a regular RV with just a single bathroom and a kitchen sink and an outside shower. But I have run out, like I said before, so I would always have extra, so that if your unit takes more than you think it will take, you've still got that extra bottle. I still have 3 in the back, but I'm gonna need more, especially if I go out in December, so I'll go ahead and order some more of the same stuff on Amazon and have it shipped to me in a box, and I'll put it in my garage and have it ready for the next time. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and ask any questions or put any comments in the comment section below. Thank you and happy travels.